Hi guys. Now many people who voted to leave back in 2016 have come to realise that it was a mistake. It may have been necessary for them to see their own livelihoods deeply impacted in order to come to that conclusion, the conclusion that Brexit was a disaster. Others have yet to see the consequences of their vote, principally those in farming, who are going to be shafted by the Australian-UK trade deal, but at the moment are standing by their decision to leave the European Union. Okay, so I want to return to a lady who appeared in a video on this channel some months ago. She runs a seafood export business in Wales, and some of you may remember her. She voted for Brexit in 2016 and was then interviewed last year where she defended her vote. A European news crew caught up with her 6 months after Brexit to see if she's changed her mind. Let's see the first bit and then we'll see the clip from this month.
This is the internals of the lorry.
Brexit has come at quite a cost for someone who voted for it. Have you quantified how much extra you're now spending at the moment?
About 40,000.
Preparing for a no-deal Brexit?
Yeah.
£40,000?
Yeah.
Did you imagine that's what you might be spending when you voted leave?
No.
Do you regret voting leave?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because some people might find that very strange, that you voted leave.
Yes.
And you're now in a situation where you are spending a huge amount of money.
I knew when I voted leave that it would directly affect my business, both my businesses, the farming and the shellfish. But I also believe that I'm not the important person here, that the whole nation is important. So for the greater good is why I voted out, and for my grandchildren and their future.
So she voted out for her grandchildren, okay? And then I covered this also in a report in January where she said, look, I'm suffering the consequences of Brexit. She continued to support Brexit, but I want to show you a video from this month from a German, I think it's a German news crew who interviewed her again to see if she has changed her mind.
And we can't stop. And they don't last in a tank more than 2 days without changing the water, 2.5 days maximum, and then the mortality just starts to rack up then. So if we get stopped at the border control for too long, like we did that first week after Brexit, that's an absolute disaster.
Because she filled out the forms by hand, that trip took 50 hours instead of the usual 24, resulting in a sizable loss. She doesn't want to see a repeat of that fiasco, so her daughter is helping to digitize all the data. Nerys now employs her full-time due to all the extra work.
9377.
Some in her family were in favor of Brexit, others were against it. Nerys voted to leave the EU.
19.6, yeah. Large and cripple 1.3. 1.3. Shrimps 66.6. Yeah. I think I was a little naive. I knew we'd have some changes. I didn't expect quite, I knew the paperwork would change. I didn't realise quite how drastically or significantly that would be. I still believe that long term it's a good thing.
Now, I've said this before. I said this in the original video that she didn't vote to leave the European Union for economic reasons. I believed at the time, and I'm going to stand by this, I believe she voted for some other reason. Maybe it's something to do with immigration. Because I can't think of a reason why somebody would put their own business in jeopardy. She has to hire her daughter to help with the paperwork. Couldn't her daughter be doing something more productive than filling out forms? Maybe her daughter could be working for another company, earning a living. Doing something productive with her life instead of filling out bloody forms that were created because the Great Britain, I should say, is a third country. Something her mother voted for. And her mother has the arrogance to continue to say, yes, this was a good idea. So her daughter is now helping her out to fill out forms, and the owner of the business thinks that's productive. But it's not productive that it's worth it. Worth it in the long term. What is the long term here? This was not necessary before, now it is. She even said it at the beginning of this clip how if the seafood, these types of fish or whatever they are, if they don't arrive in time, they die. There's a mortality rate because they need to stay in water. The water needs to be recycled. If it's not, a lot of them die, and she suffers the consequences of that. How is that? What is on the other side of the scale here? On the one side, you have a business that's suffering. You have a daughter who is being forced to carry out work that wasn't necessary before, when she could be doing something more productive with her life. What is on the other side? Because when I start to scratch the surface, all I find on the other side is the issue of immigration. That people said, I don't want foreigners coming into the country. I voted for Brexit to stop foreigners coming into the country. Now, even if that was the case, it hasn't stopped foreigners coming into the country. It's stopped some foreigners, but it hasn't stopped all foreigners. So even the people who voted to stop hearing foreign accents in their local supermarket didn't win anything, because maybe the accents have changed, but there's still going to be foreign accents. It's quite sad that somebody who has bought into something almost to a cult level mentality has created a situation where her business is suffering, her country is suffering, and even her own family, in my eyes, is suffering because the daughter could be doing something more productive with her life. What was the point of all of this? What was the value? I would love to speak to her and ask her, what's on the other side of the scale? On one side, as I said, is a disaster for your business. On the other side, what is there? Because I have a feeling it's probably immigration. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that I'm right. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. Once again, I hate to say it, but the driving force behind Brexit on one side was immigration, xenophobia. On the other was disaster capitalism. Some people are benefiting. Some countries are benefiting. Australia in particular is benefiting from Brexit. Northern Ireland is benefiting in a sense because due to the protocol, benefiting better than any other country in the UK. But what is on the other side of this scale? I have a feeling it's immigration. I hope I'm wrong, as I said. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?